Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lori and I'm the face behind Entre Tejidos Crochet. Now, today's video is yet another vlog video, and this time it's going to be a 2-week vlog video. We hopefully, I can't see too much into the future, but I will be probably going down the rabbit hole with making bugs. Mainly because next week, but technically it's the week that you're watching this video or the next, I don't know. If the patterns are out now, I will link them all down below, but I do have 4 bug patterns that need to be finished and all set and ready for the market prep crochet-along. Plus, I need to be working on a few more. I have an idea for 4 more bug patterns, but I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time before the whole craziness for the back to school is here to have them all done and tested, but we'll see. We'll see. For the most part, for that other market prep crochet along that I'm going to be a part of, that will run towards like the end of April, oh my goodness, end of August, beginning of September, I am thinking about adding a dragonfly in the chunky bug style and a spider in the chunky bug style. I do have an idea for a chunky caterpillar and for a beetle. I know some of you are a bit adverse to cockroaches, but we'll see. I mean, technically a beetle can look like a cockroach and vice versa, but we'll see. We'll see how many of these patterns I actually get done. For the most part, I'm trying to focus on the dragonfly and the spider ones. While they will be similar to my chunky bugs, they will be on the bigger scale, but still chunky. They'll still be part of the Pudgy Buggies sort of lineup. So if you're interested for that, please stay tuned for the updates that are coming right after this. Bye. Update number 1, it's actually Tuesday, mainly because the weekend was such a whirlwind of activities. As I showed you in the last update of last week's video, we did spend Friday at El Festival de las Flores in Ay Bonito, and I did get a couple of new plants for my plant wall, which is so exciting. And then Saturday and Sunday I spent both days at a scrapbooking event with my mom, and while I was scrapbooking, I was paying attention to my Instagram because my Danny Dino Parasaur mod went on the Dynamite Cal page, and I was blown away by how you all received that pattern. It was amazing. And then once the scrapbooking event was done for the day, I would just come home and try to decompress as much as I can. Not that it was oh my gosh, but you know, when you're out of your house and you just want to come home, get comfortable, just zone out. That's what I did. But I did crochet a plushie. I was able to finish the Lotus Snail pattern by AV, Handmade Crochet by AV, and this was just my zoning out project. I was also able to finish another one, and both of these fit into June, so they'll be part of the everything I made in June video. I was able to finish it and I love him. It's so cute and very unique. This is the Tehistoric Parasaurolophus, and the pattern is by Yarnaholic Sociopath. And then this morning, right before I started making this update video, I was painting safety eyes because these need to get out today. So I had one order come in for 10 pairs of 30 millimeter eyes. They got 5 pairs of slime and 5 pairs of iceberg. Oh my gosh, this looks so funny right there. Then I had two other orders. One of them was for 30mm caramel drop, and I included a freebie of 20mm white pupil orange blossom eyes. These are new. I haven't listed them, at least in this update. I haven't listed them yet, but I wanted to include that in this order. And then the other order was for 25 and 30mm lake waters. Now, since I do have to run out the door to run a couple of errands and these need to be out today, I am just going to take all my packaging supplies. I'm already like setting them into like this box so that while I'm waiting and between errands, I can have all the packages done, and then one of the final errands can be dropping them off at the post office. But here are the 30mm lake waters, and they're different from slime in that they're more neon. See what I mean? But they're still so, I don't know what it is about green eyes that I just love. So they got these are 30, and then the others are 25. So I'll be packaging these up and sending them on their merry way. If I do have enough time to crochet today, it will most likely be to work on the bug patterns because those release next week. I'm not too stressed or like anxious about the bugs because they're basically done. I just need to add like the final photos, make sure that everything's cohesive, and you know, even though it's 4 different patterns, that they still look like, okay, these are like written by the same person and everything. Because as I mentioned in last week's video, that when I design a pattern, if I overly explain one part, I want to overly explain the other part. Not like have this really well written section explaining everything, because even though some of my patterns are for the adventurous beginner, I also do know that sometimes our brain just don't keep up with the pattern. And if you're having one of those moments like I constantly do, I want you to be able to work on the pattern regardless. So if I do that for one section, I don't want the other section, it doesn't even matter if it's like truly like super simple or not, but I want the same level of explaining one part to be the same for the other part, if that makes any sense at all. I know it does for me. And then yesterday I released the Danny Dino pattern pack. I don't think I've ever sold as many copies of a pattern, a particular pattern, in one day than I did for Danny Dino, and it was very surreal. I'm not going to lie. At like, all in all, I sold 8 copies. I know some other bigger designers, it's like 8. I do that like on a regular basis. But for me, it is very humbling. It is very, oh my goodness. Like, people actually like my pattern. I got a couple of messages from people that they're gonna buy the pattern because it was recommended by someone else. I was like, wait, are they really talking about my pattern? And I know I mentioned it, I believe like 2 videos ago, that sometimes we do get a bit of like imposter syndrome, that like, you know, we also second guess ourselves, like, hey, like, are people really going to like our stuff? But this just put everything at bay. It just like silenced everything. And now that we have the dinosaurs all set, they're released, I will be working on more dinosaurs because I already started writing up a velociraptor pattern, which is like, yay. I'm gonna put that on hold for a little bit and then ease into finishing up the bugs, just so that I'm not like scrambling like I was with the dinosaurs. Granted, part of the reason for me being a bit more scrambling with the dinosaur pattern was that like 3 or 4 days before the release, I was still designing dinosaurs. That's not the case for these bugs. If I do get some extra time to crochet today, I will be working on those bugs to finesse the patterns. I have not been able to work on Ariete Dragon. I'm doing the axolotl version of it because of all the craziness that has been going on recently, but I do hope to finish it soon. Anywho, that's the update for right now. I will check back in hopefully tomorrow. Bye. It's update number 2. It's Wednesday and I got so much to show you. Kinda not true, kinda yes. In terms of crochet, this is all I was able to do. This is one wing from Mason Moth for Mason Moth, but that's okay because as I was running errands yesterday, I did finish up packaging the orders that needed to go out. So the hour that I spent waiting for a doctor's appointment, most of it was like packing those up. And then what was left, I was able to do this. I did not get to crochet a whole lot, but I did get a lot of like housework and things done so that today, tomorrow, and Friday, I can just crochet my heart out, basically. So hopefully tomorrow's update will have more of this done. The other thing that I do have to show you is that I got 2 more orders of safety eyes. I already painted them. These, all I have to do is just put on the packing slip, close them up, and they'll be sent out today. Because today we do have to go out again for another appointment. I might just take my boys to the indoor trampoline park that we have nearby because today they're just like, they're almost vibrating with energy. So while they're doing all of that, hopefully I can get a bit more crocheting done. But let me show you the eyes that were ordered. And these 2 orders are from repeat buyers, which is any sort of order, be it your first or your 3rd or your 10th order. I always get excited when orders for safety eyes come in, when orders for patterns and things like that come in, plushie patterns. Basically, when any order comes in, whenever I hear like cha-ching from Etsy, it's like, oh my goodness, it's amazing. And I truly thank you all for these purchases. So this Freshwater Crochet got 2 pairs of 16mm kaleidoscope, so 2 of those, and 2 16mm pairs of Flower Power. We're big on recycling here, and this is a card that I was not going to use, so we're trying not to create more waste than we have to. Then the order that came in is for Allison. I feel like for the last 2 full videos, I've had an order for her safety eyes like come out. Like I've been able to send off. So Allison, if you are watching this video, thank you so much for your support. And since at this time, I think this is her 4th or 5th order, I did include a freebie. These are 25mm white pupil orange blossom eyes. These need to be added to my Etsy shop soon, so hopefully. And she ordered 25mm blue stars. And I really love these so much because if you're struggling to to mix and match colors, or if you're making like a scrappy plushie where you mix a bunch of colors together, this is the perfect mix of, well, this is the perfect set of eyes because it has a bunch of multicolored stars together. So it'll pull all those colors and make them look good. So those are the 2 orders that are going out. As I mentioned, I did not get a lot of crocheting done, but hopefully we will be able to fix that today. I do, like right after this update, I do have to film the everything I made in, is it June? Oh my goodness, I don't even know what month we're in. I need to film the everything I made in June video so that I can also work on updating my inventory list. I am thinking, but I don't know, I do have a lot of inventory. So what I'm thinking is of creating like these mystery bags of plushies that you pay for weight, not necessarily like the worth of the plushie, but by weight. Granted, if you like, what I'm thinking is like, you know, 2 pounds of plushies. Granted, I would mix and match plushie sizes. So maybe if you ordered like 2 pounds of plushies, you might get like a medium sized and like 2 smaller plushies, or maybe you might get 2 medium sized plushies, or maybe you might get one of the bigger plushies for a really fraction of the cost. But the reason that I'm doing this is not that these plushies don't have anything wrong with them. They're really well made. It's just that I have a lot of plushies in my inventory, and for the foreseeable future, so like for maybe the next 1 or 2 months, I'm not gonna have a market yet. So yeah, and the problem is it wouldn't, like, it's not such a bad thing that I have a bunch of plushies in inventory. The problem is that I keep making plushies and my space is limited. So I don't know. What do you think? Are these things like something that would be appealing in general, or like, hey, you know, just buy more boxes, store them all for like a rainy day instead of doing like mystery boxes or mystery bags in this case? But anyways, that's going to be my update for now. I will check back in tomorrow with another update on what I've been able to crochet. Bye. Update number 3. It's actually Friday. Yesterday, I just rested. I did get some crochet related things done, like I pattern tested these crochet trays. The pattern is going to be, well, actually, I pre-tested it for Hooked with Love 23 for Lauren, and it's very much a little trinket tray that you can put your stitch markers, your needles, your scissors, and everything. And she has the flower variation and the sunflower one, which is a bit more open, but I think I used too big of a hook and it lays flat. I did not add the little ball in the middle because I thought about making it more of like a tray to catch my yarn ends for when I'm crocheting on the couch and like that. So I did get these 2 done. I managed to list all the singular patterns for Danny Dino, so all the 7 different variations are listed on Instagram. On Etsy, I also updated my inventory and managed to put those plushies away. What has me excited about it is that I was going back and forth. Now, I don't hate no-sew projects, but I know that sometimes we sacrifice some things in the details of it for making it low sew. But I think I made this big spider as no sew. Hopefully what I have in my brain works out in yarn form. It's going to be a bigger bug than the other Pudgy Buggies, but it's still going to be chunky. I even went ahead and painted some safety eyes in different sizes. Ideally, I want to go with, since there are spiders that usually have like 4 eyes, I want 25 millimeter to be the bigger ones, and the 20s being the ones on the side. So it'd be something like this. Hopefully, as I mentioned, hopefully it'll all work out the way that I have it in my brain. The other thing that I was able to work on was a couple of weeks ago, my sister-in-law, I have polyfill wrapped up. Well, the polyfill is wrapped up in this blanket. I had my sister-in-law give me the Lacy Farmhouse blanket that I made for my niece, and she gave it back because it popped like 2 seams. So I fixed it yesterday, and I even went through each of the color changes and added a bit of fabric glue just to like reinforce them. So the blanket is good to go and ready for lots and lots of years of snuggles. Just look at these colors. This is antique white, rose, and terracotta from the Basix chunky line from Premier Yarns. And it's so, like, I know why it popped a seam, and it's because it doesn't feel velvety. It doesn't have like that sheen that velvet has, but it has that softness. So yeah, but it's all good now. I did reinforce everything, all the seams. And then today we had to stop by Walmart, and I grabbed a skein of yarn because Tasha's Crochet Nook has a tester call for this gorgeous mermaid, and this just screams mermaid. And the other reason that I went through the crafts section was that I'm going to be adding a lot of like dinglings, little cute stuffs, oh my goodness, stuff. I'm going to be adding some extra sparkle to this keychain. I gifted this keychain to my mom back in March, and she asked if I could like bling it up, and I do have an idea. So I'm gonna add some of these like glass beads with these multicolored ones. I'm not gonna add all of them. So I got these, and I'm thinking of adding a crocheted flower to it, so it's like a nice, really like sassy and all nice keychain to add to her purse. What do I hope to crochet today? I have no idea. I might just like continue working on the spiders so that I can hopefully have that pattern out for testing soon. Oh, the other thing that I managed to do was to send out, like fix up and finish the Mason Moth, Beckett Bee, Finnick Firefly, and Bobby Butterfly patterns. They're all ready. I'm just giving my testers a couple of more days to send any extra photos so that I can add them in, and then we'll be ready for release day, which will be July 8th. So we still have 4 days left, if I'm not mistaken. So in terms of crocheting, I might just continue working on the spider to have that ready. Or since I love my crazy crochet chaos, I also do have in mind the design for the dragonfly and damselfly. So I'm gonna try and make with the same body. You can make both the dragonfly or the damselfly, because essentially when you look at them, they're more or less the same. It's just how you place the wings. But yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Good morning. I don't know what update this is. I know it was supposed to be right after the update on Friday, but it's Monday. I did not film Saturday or Sunday, mainly because I was just like in the groove of doing things in general. Saturday, to be honest, I don't know how the day went by so fast because I just literally cleaned out my desk and like this desk, because it's not a scrapbooking desk. It's not like a crochet desk. It's just like a regular desk, but I store some of the crochet supplies that I don't use quite a lot, but that they're part of crocheting. Like this is where I store my wooden dowels or skewers for when I crochet flowers. This is where I also store like glue sticks, materials for making felt dies, things like that. But it's also the sort of drawers that I just open up and slide everything in, and they were getting to be too messy. So even though it's just 3 drawers, it did take me quite a bit to see if the item that I was cleaning out or sifting through was something that I was going to keep or not. And then like try and see if I could like organize them somewhere else in order to store things that I mostly use here, like have those closest to me. Who knows? If you hear any like shh in the background, that's just Skippy, our Roomba. He has a weird way of making himself known. And after I did that, I designed a new bug. I'm looking at her right now. I'm obsessed with her. In real life, this sort of bug, and I'm cringing because I know that it's technically not a bug, but still. In real life, if I see one of these, it's something that my husband needs to take care of because I can't. I don't like them. But in plushie form, she's way too cute. And I've made her even cuter by adding a headband that matches what they make their homes out of. And I'm trying to be cryptid on purpose, mainly because this particular plushie is going to be part of another crochet-along. It's titled the Market Mania Crochet-Along. And we've been tasked to keep it a secret until the week that they start revealing the projects. So even though I would love to share her with you, I can't just yet. Although I did send a photo to one of my crochet friends, and she's like, I actually love it. And she feels the same way about this sort of bug as I do. And the fact that she is, I'm moving over because I use cardstock from scrapbooking to take pictures, process pictures for each of the parts, pieces, sections in the pattern. And it's taken me 3 days to design the entire pattern, and the fact that I love the prototype so much is a statement unto itself. And it's weird because in my mind, I was going to work on a dragonfly first before working on this bug, but something just clicked. And we have a new bug. I need to start thinking about names that start with the letter S to match her name. So we'll see. But in terms of size, from the front of her teeth, if you will, to the end of her tushy, she's about this big, which I would gauge as like 7 to 8 inches. And the fact that she is entirely no-sew, I can't even, because I was struggling. Normally, I don't really go for like no-sew patterns or low-sew or like high-sew sort of patterns. But for some reason, this one, I really wanted to push myself a bit and design her to be no-sew while also being chunky, while also being big. I can't stop staring at her. I can't. And the thing that has me all smiles is the fact that this time around, for some reason, I actually had Canva open, and as I worked each of the parts up, I actually typed the pattern in the document. So right now, what I need to do is add the instructions for the headband and go and like send it off to my testers. I did pick out my yarn for working on a Velociraptor. I almost said Velocicoaster. I love that ride. But yeah, I am already working up a Velociraptor. I have a dragonfly in the works. I have quite a few other ideas for patterns, so stay tuned for that. So today I do hope on painting. I have 3 safety eye orders that I need to fulfill so that I can send them out tomorrow. And since this pattern is done, I might either continue working on Ariete Axolotl or Ariete Dragon by Lemon Cat Crochet, or if I'm really feeling it, I might just start or at least continue with making the Velociraptor. Over the last half of the week, we were able to watch all 3 of the Jurassic World movies, and I was just pointing out dinosaurs. I was like, okay, yeah, I designed a pattern for that. I designed him. And then we got to the last one where we saw the Gigantosaurus. Yep, I know I butchered that name, but it's if you've seen the movie, it's the kind of like T-Rex sort of looking dinosaur. That dinosaur, the big one that, you know, brawls it out with the T-Rex at the end of the 3rd movie. I was like, I told my husband, I have not designed that dinosaur. I might design that dinosaur and add it into the Danny Dino pack. Why the Danny Dino pack? Because for all effects and purposes, I would just need to add the ridge going down the spine, because that dinosaur, like, we already have the eye crests from the T-Rex and Dilophosaurus dinosaur mods that are in the pattern pack. I would just need to add that crest in the middle. Or it's not a crest, it's like a ridge in the middle. So who knows? This is the point in every crocheter's day or, you know, life journey that you just wish that you had 6 more hands so that you could crochet a whole bunch of things. And here's the part that I would add: yes, to have, you know, a total of 4 sets of hands, so 8 hands like an octopus, but also have the brain power to like focus, okay, these 2 hands are going to be working up this dinosaur. These 2 hands are going to be working up bugs. These 2 are going to be painting safety eyes. And these other 2 will just be like casually responding to emails or things like that. So I might either work on the Velociraptor pattern or the Gigantosaurus. I don't know that name, but I don't know how to pronounce it. Work on a mod for that so that it can be added to the Danny Dino pack, which at the beginning of this vlog I mentioned that I had sold 6 pattern packs. Since like counting up until yesterday, I've sold 21 pattern packs. I can't believe it, to be honest. Like, I know they're good patterns. I know, like, I worked my butt off getting everything all said and done. But wow. And I can't thank you all enough for that. Truly, I cannot. So hopefully by adding another dinosaur, it'll still resonate. It'll still be like, oh my goodness, you know, you can make all these different dinosaurs with the same pattern pack. The other thing is that I hope to have a different set of dinosaur minis, if you will. By using the Velociraptor pattern, I plan on adjusting the mods from the original Danny Dino pack to the Velociraptor. So if you want to make a smaller Danny Dino but make it like a smaller Triceratops, you can. When will that be ready? I do not know. I do not know. At the time that I'm filming this, we are just starting with the back to school, rushing around, getting, you know, things ready for school. So I don't know, but just know that they're in the works. But I'm going to stop blabbing now, and hopefully tomorrow I can update you all with something that I did crochet-wise. So I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. So after yesterday's update, I did start getting what I had in my brain for the Velociraptor into yarn form. And this time around, it's easier, if you will, because I am basing my overall shape from Danny Dinosaur. So the pattern, maybe it's the lazy way out, maybe it's not, maybe it's even more work, I don't know. But what I did was I made a copy of Danny Dino, and then I am editing the actual not the dinosaur. Well, technically, yeah, the actual pattern, and I'm typing up like the you know, the arms and legs are smaller and shorter than the regular ones. So I'm updating, you know, every single thing. I'm adding notes for myself to like, hey, you know, take a picture of the new legs and things like that. This is one of the arms. This is one of the legs. How does it compare to the original Danny Dino? Let me show you. This is Danny Dino. Look. It's going to be teeny weeny. It's gonna be like a baby dinosaur more than like a Velociraptor, but I'm pretty sure we're all here for it, right? And just look, this is the leg. This is how it compares. Now I am adding a different flair to it, in the sense that I did have to adapt one of the rounds in both the arms and feet so that you still get the same shape but smaller, because this is something it just boggles my mind when designers offer multiple variations, this especially with like wearables, like, oh, you know, when they add different sizes, it's like mind-blowing. And I feel like I'm doing that, but in plushie shape. I'm trying to convey the overall look of Danny Dino, but it's not just like, oh, you know, instead of doing, you know, 4 rounds for the arms, just do 2. Instead of doing 8, just do 4. It's not like that. I'm trying to maintain the proportions, but just make him smaller. And I mean, it's a start for sure. These aren't stuffed. I'm gonna work on that as I'm running the various errands that I have to do. I didn't get as much crochet done as I wanted to, but I did still work on something crochet related, and it was to finalize all the bug patterns and add them into Etsy, which I did. I also forgot that I had taken pictures for the new colors, the new color for one of my safety eyes, which is Orange Blossom. So I made the listing. They're all 4 bug patterns, and the Orange Blossom eyes are already on my Etsy. Now, speaking of safety eyes, let me show you the eye orders that I've painted and have to be shipped out today. So this one is fresh from under the UV lamp. That is so weird to say, and I never thought I would say that, but here we are. Now I painted 30 millimeter safety eyes. Of course, these are safety eyes, but lake waters. And since I had a freebie, I added it. So these are 16 millimeter sprite eyes. I love the sprite eyes, mainly because it kind of looks like the, you know, when you embroider eyes, or sometimes if you use the solid, the black solid safety eyes, that sometimes you add like a white strand of worsted weight yarn to add like a waterline. These eyes look like that. I just like them so much. So that's one order. Well, an order plus a gift. Another order got, I just felt like in a gift giving mood because all of these orders do have freebies, but it's only because I had the freebies on hand. They ordered 30 millimeter embers and I gifted them 25 millimeter sprite eyes. See what I mean? The third order that I got was for 20 millimeter gumdrop, and I gifted them 18 millimeter sprite eyes. At this point in time, I don't know, I could be wrong, but in this vlog, I believe this would be her third order. So I am very grateful for her. She ordered 25 millimeter Solara, 20 millimeter obsidian, 25 millimeter firelight. Plans on making some dinosaurs. She bought my Danny Dino pattern pack, so I decided to include a freebie. These are 30 millimeter kaleidoscope. So yeah. So all of these cute orders are being sent out today, and that is the update for now. I'll share everything when I update you all, but see you next time. Bye. Hi everyone, this is going to be the last update for this video because I was looking at the video clips that I've had, and granted, when I edit them they shrink in length, but I don't want my vlogs to get too crazy long, so this is going to be the last update for this 2-week vlog. I need to share something with you. You've seen my bugs, right? Let's do a quick head count. So we have Bobby butterfly, we have Finnick firefly, we have Beckett bee, and we have Mason moth. If you've been around this channel for a while, you know that I have 2 other bug patterns. And I just wanted to like recap them all here, mainly because all the Pudgy Buggies, so Mason, Beckett, Finnick, and Bobby, are all being made by different people for the Market Prep Cal. And I've mentioned that if you're not able to finish the bug pattern, but you still like to get the patterns, I'm offering a deep discount and, you know, that sort of thing for participating. If you're only able to get one, you still get the free pattern for that bug, but you also get a deep discount to get the other patterns. And I also mentioned that that discount applies for my other 2 bug patterns, and people were like, you have 2 more? And I was, yes. This is Lolita Ladybug, and that laugh was just so super weird. This is Lolita Ladybug. She is the bug that started it all. Actually, no, scratch that. Bonita butterfly is the bug that started it all, and I'll show you in a bit. But look at her petite size. I really wanted to capture like the kind of like encompassing type of wings that ladybugs have, and I did. And just look at how adorable she is. If I recall correctly, this pattern was released either late January or early February of 2025. And Bonita Butterfly. Now, granted, I do need to fix this drooping. I just need to add like an extra stitch there. This is how she's supposed to look. I will off camera try and add a few stitches so that they are held like that. But this is how she looks. And this is her brother. So they're kind of the same. They're kind of the same, but not quite. He's chunkier than she is. So those are all my bugs. The other thing that I wanted to update you all on is that I am making headway with my octos. Now, at some point over the last month, I mentioned that I am going to be making octopi as gifts for the participants of a VBS at my cousin's church. They're setting for 35 kids, and since the theme it has to do with like ocean and whatnot, I offered to make them octos. Now they hope to have 35 participants. I already had 10 of those mini octos. I'm gonna be doing the Ottos from Not More Yarn by Lindsay. It's these octos. I'm gonna be making them. So since I already have 10, technically I have to make 25. We are about 2 weeks before the VBS is set to start. So I just grabbed all my jumbo yarn and started making a bunch of these. And today, as we were running around doing different things, my husband and I, we went out because it was just a simple procedure. But I accompanied him just to make sure that everything was okay. I did manage to get 9 of these octos done. So technically, I'm at 19. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus today and tomorrow on making more of the autos, and hopefully either two things. I'll reach up to 35 and stop, or I'll just continue making these octos until I'm done with all that yarn, because I pulled out all of my Parfait Chunky, my Parfait XL. I pulled out my Lion brand cover story. If things start to get like, I'm not gonna have enough yarn, I'll grab some of the Kyla's Crafts Deluxe, because the whole thing is that I want them to have more or less the same size. That's why I'm using the bigger yarn to make them as opposed to Parfait Chunky. So far, I still have quite enough yarn. I've been able to finish some of the smaller skeins or like cakes of yarn that I had left over, and I was able to make 9. I do have, if I'm counting correctly, at least 3 full skeins of the cover story yarn. So I believe I have enough, hopefully. But that is all for today's video. This is the last vlog. Next week, I hope to have the final baby dino all ready to reveal. I got accepted into another crochet-along, and the topic or the theme is kind of mystical, and I'm thinking of turning someone back there into a dragon. We'll see. We'll see. I also plan on revamping some of my patterns. I do have a cow pattern, a lion pattern, tiger, bears, a sheep or a lamb pattern, but they are in my older format. And I've taken them down from Etsy and Ravelry and Ribbler so that I can fix them up, add a few new techniques, because these were made about, I want to say like 2 years ago. I'll probably be vlogging that, me working through revamping my patterns, designing new patterns, but that is the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching until this point. If you see something you liked, if there's something that you would like for me to elaborate on, just say hi in the comments down below, like the video, share the video. Any interaction is very, very much appreciated. I will see you next week with another vlog, and have a very crafty day. Bye.